Alright, the aircraft is armed and flying. We're flying. We accidentally bump our disarm switch. But don't worry, if you look at channel 5, we're still outputting positive 100%. We're still flying, we're good. We're coming in for a landing, and disarmed as soon as channel 3 goes below negative 95%. Alright, I got a little bit long-winded in this video talking about my philosophy of use behind this function, so if you want to skip ahead and just see how I did this, I went ahead and put in the timestamps. One of the worst things that can happen to your FPV quad while you're flying is an accidental mid-air disarm. As I said in my last video, if your radio sends a disarming command without proper fail-safes, your aircraft will disarm. If it receives that command mid-air, it's coming down, and it's coming down fast. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, you know, if I accidentally flip the arming switch mid-flight, I can just switch it back on. Now, theoretically, that's true. But here's the thing. The arming command that goes across channel 5 for express LRS does more than just arm the aircraft and spin props. One of the functions is to arm ELRS, and that starts your high and dynamic power setting. If you disarm midair and the aircraft is a bit of a distance or a concrete barrier away, you may or may not have enough signal for that aircraft to receive the arming command. Now, if you're flying a quad or some other type of smart aircraft with a flight controller, there are some settings that you can mess around in Betaflight, iNav, ArduPilot, where it fixes this problem downstream at the aircraft itself. Or you can prevent it at the source in your radio using EdgeTx logic. Now, before I show you how to do this, I do want to inform you that this setup is a little bit controversial. Not the logic itself, the logic is sound, but the function of requiring throttle to be at 0 prior to disarm. One very notable detractor is Joshua Bartwell, a man who has forgotten more about FPV than I'll ever know. His reasoning is the theory of less complexity around the arming switch is better. While I don't necessarily agree with his setup because he did something similar to this, I am going to link his video so that way you can hear it from the source. And I will agree with Joshua, there is risk with this setup. It is possible that if you mess this configuration up, you can create a logic trap that stops you from being able to disarm the aircraft. Now, the workaround for that is to just test the switches prior to actually putting your real aircraft on it, as you should do with any switch configuration, just to make sure that your radio is exhibiting the right behavior. There's also small risk of the radio experiencing a logic failure that could potentially cause the aircraft not to disarm, but that's pretty rare. I would say if that's a concern of yours, if you're using an older Radiomaster model, you should consider upgrading the SD card that comes stock in the radio to help alleviate this threat. So the question you need to ask yourself prior to setting this up is, which is the bigger realistic threat? A logic trap occurring with 4 lines of logic, or a pilot error occurring during the reaction to a bad situation, turning an otherwise flying aircraft into a falling, highly combustible, uncontrolled object? That's for you to decide. Okay, let's set it up. Alright, just in case you missed my last video, what I have set up here is your standard setup where channel 5 is your arming command, but I have it where if throttle is anywhere outside or above negative 95%, the arming channel will not go to arm. It's a throttle 0 pre-arm setting. But if the throttle's all the way down, arm works as intended. What we're going to do is we're going to set it up where if the aircraft is in flight, you can't accidentally disarm the aircraft. And we're going to make a very simple modification to this layout. What we're going to do is we're going to hit Model. We're going to go over to our logic switches. And all we're going to do is we're going to go to Logic Switch 3, Edit. And for variable 2, we're going to put in Logic Switch 1. So now, in order for the disarm command it has to have both of these parameters met. So logic 3 now has the disarm switch in the off position and the throttle below 95%. So we'll give this a shot. All right, so aircraft is on the ground and disarmed. Throttle's below the 95%. Armed. Okay. We're flying. We accidentally bump our disarm switch. And as you can see on channel 5, the arm channel is still showing positive 100%. So we're flying, we're coming in for a landing, throttle all the way down, and disarmed. And that's how you set up zero throttle disarm using EdgeTx logic. If you found this video useful, drop a like. If you want more content like it, subscribe. In the meantime, this has been Church with Rest and Rec. Blue skies and God bless.